Hi, this is Erin from Bossy Bee. Welcome to my channel. The plan for this video is to immerse myself into some art therapy and create some little planter pot ornaments. This is definitely not a tutorial as I've never done this before and I'm just learning as I go. It is, however, a fun, easy and low-cost project which is suitable for children. Your imagination can just run wild. I wanted to make some little mushrooms or toadstools to sit in pot plants, just very naive, cute, whimsical, all of the things. And I'm doing this as an ongoing commitment to myself with art as therapy. I felt like I needed to do something with my hands and something that was fairly quick and easy and something I can give to someone as well. So you've all heard me talk about my friend who has a cafe and she has so many plants in there, and she's actually bought quite a few little sort of mushroom, what would they be called, stakes or little things that you stick into plants. And I thought the other day, I could have a go at doing this. So as long as nobody gets too close. As I said, it's very naive, so it's a beginner-friendly project because I am still very much a beginner with air dry clay and clay. So first of all, I'm using air dry clay, and I've got a little pot of water and I'm continually just making sure that the clay hasn't dried out. And I found very quickly that my fingernails were an absolute nightmare with this project. They left scratches and gouges in everything, which was really annoying. I've formed this piece into roughly the shape of a mushroom, and then I had a brilliant idea to mark out all of the gills underneath, but then I didn't like it, so I smoothed it over. Now I am being a little bit cheeky. I went and got a little liquid pigment bottle with a rounded lid because I wanted to find an alternative to putting my fingers underneath, because every time I put my finger into the middle underneath, my nails would almost pop through. So I'm calling that first one done, and I was so excited to get that done. So I'm conditioning the clay as best I can just by rolling it and sort of kneading it in my hands, and I've got nothing to lose. I'm just trying hard to practice and try different things and have fun. It is so relaxing playing with clay. This is the air dry clay, and I had a whole huge block, so I knew that I wasn't going to run out or anything. Oh yes, I'd forgot to put the Glad wrap around it, but now it's safe again. And basically this just went on for an hour or so. I did feel a little bit frustrated that my nails were really affecting how I was going with it. I wish I had a better idea of a tool, and I probably could sit and try and find some tutorials to watch and learn how to do it properly, but it was just trial and error. So I've got, you might have seen at the beginning, I just had a little stick there that I tried to poke in as the stalk, and it didn't work. It was just sort of too pointy for the clay at that stage. I'm still committed to using sticks because I want these to look, even though they're going to look very unnatural due to their colour, I still want them to look somewhat natural with their bases. I ended up making 5, including 2 sort of little more pointy ones. Okay, so next I decided I was going to turn my hand to polymer clay. This is just a very cost-effective brand, the Montmartre, and I know that I need to bake this in an oven for 30 minutes at about 130 degrees Celsius. So this one comes with 10 different colours, and I've got my little plastic roller there, and so I'm just going to start conditioning the clay and hopefully get it into a nice soft workable little ball eventually. I wasn't sure whether you could use water with this, so I didn't use water, but it was quite easy to work with. So that was me having an idea, like a light bulb moment. I decided to pinch off a little bit of the white and then get a little bit of the red. Now I'm going to work with the main part of the white, and I'm sure you can guess what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and incorporate the red into the white, and it didn't go brilliantly. I decided to switch to gloves so that I was minimizing, I guess, my nail impressions into the clay. And the dots, because I had to continually work with this and try new things, the dots ended up more suggestions of colour. So it's okay though, that was the first time I've ever done that, and this was fun. So I've decided now I'm going to go and sort of fold the edges over a little bit, and I'm going to use the palm of my hand to push it down and do all the things I can to get it nice and smooth. So try using the end of the roller to form the mushroom cap. And yes, another idea sprung into my head. I was wondering if I could use foil or aluminium foil to scrunch up into a ball to provide a former, so something that I could mould around. It didn't go to plan, but I think there's merit in the idea. My hands aren't very strong and I couldn't quite scrunch it tight enough to get it a little bit smooth, but I did end up keeping this in there through the baking process just as a trial, and there's no issue with that whatsoever. The foil does not stick to the polymer clay, so it doesn't get baked together or anything. So if I could come up with a way of making smooth shapes like that, that would be something to try, and I think it would work. I decided I was going to try and create a longer shape. So, one of those elongated cap toadstools or mushrooms. Now this time I'm using the red polymer clay, and I'm going to attempt to add in the white for the little white spots. So I'm trying to learn as I go. This is most certainly not a tutorial video because I'm not capable of teaching you how to do this, but hopefully it could be inspiring. You might think that you'd like to do this with children, kids or grandkids, or have a go yourself. And yeah, the only way is up. So these white dots are coming together really well, and I'm trying not to overwork it. Now this one is where I tried to move the clay around to get a long elongated mushroom, and it didn't really work. So I just keep trying new things. And again, the more that you work with clay after you add colours, the more you lose those, definition of spots that you put in there. And yeah, it was a shame. But anyway, we'll keep going. I am fast forwarding through this because I really was spending quite a long time trying to work out techniques and things like that. I did switch to the handle of my pokey tool, and that seemed a better shape. I'm trying a pencil here. I'll try anything. Now these clays did slightly discolour my mat, but it cleaned off fine. So that's why I'm just making sure I clean up in between. So now I'm going for a dark green and adding in pink, and I loved that one. I thought that was really cute. And now doing the reverse, a pink one with the green spots, and I'm getting more of a hang of doing this. So what I've realised is that the smaller the little ball of clay is, before you add in the dots and make those dots as tiny as you can, the more defined it will look, because that gives you a little bit more to spread out and work with without, everything stretching out. So I went teeny tiny with my little dots. And here I've got the green clay with purple dots. And then, yes, you guessed it, I'm doing a purple one with green dots. Now this one I did add in a couple of little sort of streaks there. I'm just playing around with the idea that I could, create more colour and definition. But yeah, I'm really quite intrigued now to do more of the dotting. I'm finding it very rewarding and fascinating. So this one is the light blue, and I'm going to do the little dots in yellow for this one. And I actually decided for this one, that wasn't a mistake, this was deliberate, that I was going to try and blend it and come up with a different shape and colour. So really, up until now, I've been forming these just using basically brute force of, poking something in the centre and smoothing the edges down over it. But now I wanted to see if I could roll the clay into a cute shape. So I did, and the top I just pinched with my thumb and forefinger, pinch that closed, and then I've popped a pencil in there just to give me something to push up against. And then I can see that the seam of the clay needs some work so it looks more smooth. So I go through with my little tool and I just sort of scrape across each of those surfaces, and then I'm going to blend them together. Because I want these to look sort of even more whimsical and a bit curved, I'm just using the end of my jewellery pliers as the thing that's sort of holding them there while I push against it, and just using a variety of different tools to try and blend those two edges together to secure them and then to smooth it down. And I really enjoyed this one probably more than any of the others so far, because it just felt like I was trying a bit harder maybe, or trying to, develop more techniques and things. So here I'm just shaping it again around my finger, and I'm just trying to gently tease the end out a little bit, because ideally I'd love to have a little sort of a jaunty curl to the top of it. And yeah, I was really happy with how this one came out. I loved the colour, that blue with a little bit of yellow in it. It just gave it a really magical sort of a shimmer. So I think, well, I know this is the technique I'm going to use now and for the last couple, and that'll give me quite a nice variety. So for the yellow one, I'm trying to improve that technique. So I have mixed some of that bright blue in there, and I'm really looking to find out what the optimum shape is to roll. And after one or two goes, I found it and followed exactly the same technique as before, and trying for an even better little curl at the top this time. It's like, how big can I get the curls? So that was fun. For the last one, I decided to combine both of the pieces of clay, the dark blue and the black, and I want this one to look almost magical. That's my idea in my head. I want it to look almost witch's hatty with that really big curl on it. I'm so excited at this point because I know that it is time to start getting these onto a baking tray and get them into the oven. So I've preheated my oven to 130 degrees Celsius. I turned the fan off because I wasn't sure how that would affect it. And then I'm just going to pop these onto some baking paper on a kitchen tray and pop them in the oven and wait and see. And yes, that's Milo's reflection in the oven door as he goes around vacuuming up the kitchen floor for me. I'd actually set these 5 aside to dry for 24 hours, and they are lovely and hardened. So I'm now just going to use some crimson paint, it's an acrylic paint, to give them a first just sort of a rough coat, get the colour laid down, and then after they dried for a little while, I went back and did a second coat and just touched up. I don't want them to look perfect. If there's still white showing through, it doesn't matter. You're not going to see the underneath of them either, so I'm just having fun. I still had some time before the clay was ready to come out, so I went down into the bush just near our house, and look how huge the creek is at the moment. We've had so much rain, and I'm just showing you there's no shortage of sticks. Lots of opportunities for sticks there. So, and this is all like foam from the water churning so much. And I spotted this amazing toadstool as well, and that was really cute. And there's my bundle of sticks in a jug. So I've set everything up on the table. The polymer clay items are very firm. I let them cool, and here's our toadstool. I'm not sure why I decided to pick it and bring it back, but yeah, aren't they amazing with their gills underneath? They're just really impressive. I don't actually eat mushrooms myself, but I am fascinated by them. I've also got my Ryobi cordless hot glue gun on the table and some secateurs to chop the sticks up, and the first couple felt like they were flying around the place, but anyway, I got the hang of it. Which was good. And remember that these are free, so this, makes it a really cost-effective little crafting activity. So all I'm going to do is take the hot glue and squirt that into the underside of the mushroom, and then I'm going to sit the stick in. Now the first couple, they wibbled and they wobbled, and I knew I needed to get something to sit them in, and I couldn't think what, but luckily I had someone around who was able to go and get me some cleaning sponges. Actually, they are the melamine cleaning sponges that can take paint off actually, and I was able to jam the sticks into there, and once I got that set up it was much better. If you decide to try this yourself at home, I would recommend a couple of options. One is a tub of sand or gravel or rice, or some polyurethane? No, not polyurethane. What is it? The foam. You know, the chunky foam that comes around things to protect it during transit and things like that. You could use that. Styrofoam, that's the one. Now I'm starting to work on the air dry clay ones using exactly the same method, and oh boy, it goes a lot faster. Now I've got this little box with the melamine sponges poked in there, so learn from my mistakes. Now it's time to start decorating, and I'm really excited about this. I'm starting out using a Posca pen in white, and as often happens with me with Posca pens, I pressed a little hard at one point and the ink filled too much into the nib, and I got a big blob, and then I got crabby with it and I just set it to the side. So after this I decided to switch to acrylic paint and using my dotting tools. This went so much better. I just put a little bit of paint into the bottom of an upturned paper cup and used the dotting tool just to apply. But this particular one, and it was the only one that it happened to, the stick pulled away from the mushroom head. So I've taken it off the stick. I'll fix it later, but that's why it's just sort of sitting there half done. So I'm loving the being able to pop these into those holes again, and the only thing is you sort of need more space when they're painted, but these are coming up so pretty. I'm really happy. The red is great and the spots are just so cute. I know it's sort of, you know, same, but I love it. So now I'm starting to do the polymer clay pieces, and the paint goes on beautifully on these as well. And I'm just going to keep going with the spots, and no matter what the colour, I decided they could just all be spotty because I think it makes them, you know, stand out and look quite recognisable as toadstools or mushrooms. And yeah, so I'm really happy with how this is coming together. As I said, the dotting tool and the paint is just so nice and easy to work with, and getting, you know, it's a beautiful contrast, the white against the red. Now when I get to the black one, I do decide to make that a bit magical. So I popped a little bit of white on there, but then I'm also going to add in a little bit of gold paint and then a teeny tiny little bit of chrome marker in silver, just for a little bit of a nighttime witchy sort of sparkle. And there were one or two that were quite pale, one I think, and I did end up using a red Posca pen just to add in some dots there to brighten it up a little bit. So I'm excited now letting these dry, and then I'm going to give them just a clear spray coat of varnish to seal everything in, and then they'll be ready to go. Now, I don't go over to give these to my friend until after this video goes to air. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some photos of them in the pots over at the cafe, and I'll upload those to my Facebook and Instagram page. So if you're interested in seeing what they look like there, that's where they'll be. In the meantime, I'm going to pop a couple into some plants here and you can see what they look like. So I've popped them into some indoor plants that I have, and they're very crowded, of course. You would normally probably only have one or two per pot, but I'm sort of just doing the best I can to show you how they turned out, and they are so cute. I can't wait to see them in the cafe when they're just in sort of one pot each. Well, I hope you enjoyed this and you'll have to let me know in the comments, do you have a favourite? And of course, if you've got any suggestions on how I could improve next time, I'd love to hear them. Thank you for spending this time with me, and definitely art is very therapeutic and I really enjoyed making these. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.